today?
We're not too bad. We're down here in beautiful sunny Michigan this weekend, so I'm doing this remotely from another country. But
We get our podcast in somehow. Any way we can, you and I
yeah,
do it.
no one.
And
Yeah, I mean, I could be in South America. I mean, we'll still get it done. That's the beauty of the internet.
yep. I wanted to bug you this week because there was something that was irritating me. I was watching a few folks trying to help a senior put in an air conditioner the other day. All this heat we've had recently, and I just felt like something wasn't right with it. As this company soaking this old guy, like, you know what I mean? You got that gut feeling, right? And I wanted to talk to you about Pro Builder Inspection, your company, and say, hey, do you just go in and do estimates for seniors and talk to them so they don't get ripped off? Do you do that?
Yeah, no, it's definitely an avenue that's not thought of in the initially when you go on the website and that kind of. But it's actually a big hit with us because there's when you get above a certain age, things start to become more difficult. It gets easier and easier to say yes to anybody because you're in a situation where you can't do it yourself. And there's surprising. I mean, especially in our area, like Norfolk and Hamilton. I mean, there's a lot of seniors that are toughing it out. They're going right to the end in their own house, and honestly, I come across it all the time and almost increasingly lately. Whereas they'll go either on a website, they'll find a sign at the side of the road, and they'll call these guys up. And for all the great guys out there, thank you. But I mean, there's a good 60-70% of them that are going to go there and they know what the deal is. They know that the bill's going to get paid basically whatever they say, however they do it, and it's sometimes for even just our phone call service for $39 we can get on the horn with somebody and they can just explain, I just had a window AC put in, it's making a funny noise, it seems to be wobbling, I think it's going to fall out the window, right? And at that point, we can ask some questions and advise them. Maybe it's no big deal, maybe it's just like literally they don't know, but then at that point, we can always either find somebody for them or come out and help them with the particular issue.
And I'm glad you brought that up because do you see that a lot where, I mean, obviously you go in and do renos on people's homes, but do you have to go back in and fix other people's problems that maybe is a senior? And I know you've got a soft spot. You're going to try and help them the best you can with what you got, with your tools and,
Yeah.
financially. But it's just a big market, isn't it? And you're, like you said, the aging population wants to stay in their homes.
Yeah.
It's almost like you're protecting them from other folk. I don't know. Like, it just seems crazy to me that you've got this great service. Folks, if you need it, if you're not sure why this toilet's backing up or
Yep.
before you spend thousands of dollars, you might not need to.
Right. No, and that's exactly true. And I'm not, I'm not trying to paint the picture that everybody out there is a criminal and
No.
And these guys are hunting down seniors and stuff like that. But I mean, I got to say that if somebody is in this industry and they are, in a more desperate point in business than, let's say, we are, I mean, it's an easy target. I mean, I don't know anybody like this, but I mean, I've heard stories of contractors that are, maybe subpar or less. They don't get a lot of work for that reason, and they actually target these types of repairs because they know it's guaranteed money, and it doesn't really matter at the end of the day how good a quality the repair is, or the improvement is, or even the reno is, because chances are these elderly people are not going to come after them because I mean there's no time and energy to do so left in their lives, right. Or they don't want to waste the time on it, and they end up living with these. I have a really quick story of, and it was a bad situation, and it was gross, to be honest. But I mean, there was an elderly man, wife had died, and this is out in an old an old farmhouse. It was actually a rental. And, you know, I know the people who rent this particular old farmhouse to this older folk, which was even more shocking. But however, you know, there had been, most of the time was spent obviously on the main floor for this fellow, and you know, the bathroom was in such disrepair that there was actually, you know, the toilet had leaked for so long that it had actually carved a hole in the floor. So at some point, someone had put a foot through the floor, and the water just continued to, you know, every time the toilet flush would rush into the floor cavity. And when I didn't even go there to look at this, I went for a roof repair because it was, the water was coming in the top. And I went into the washroom, and I'm like, sir, there's a hole underneath your toilet. And he's like, well, this is the only one I got. And, you know, he could, you know, it was a bit of an issue because he often, there was a toilet in the basement, and occasionally you could see that he tried to get to it, if you know what I mean. And he couldn't, because he was worried about this toilet going through. And this is a rental, and this is another, you know, this is another landlord thing for you landlords out there. And I mean, you can't leave people like this. I mean, like this, if you're a landlord and you can't get her done, then I mean, yeah, give us a call or book us a call or get your tenants to give us a call even, and we'll bill you to go do it. Because I mean, you know, people can't be getting into this state where they're having to go to the bathroom in alternative places besides the toilet just because they can't make it there in time, and they're scared to go to the bathroom on their current toilet because they're falling through the damn floor, right?
Yeah, I mean, that's exactly why you got to do what you do. And that's a prevention, right? Like, I mean, just get out in front of these problems if they can. And seniors deserve all the respect in the world. And if you can help them, you can help them out. The nice part is on our podcast, we got the phone number. They can give it, you know, your number. They can give you a call and just talk about those things. And I think that's the important part. That's the important aspect to start is, you know, I think you can go, you and I both know you can go in any home and find a problem to be fixed. But when it boils down to the basic necessities that you have to have, then that, to me, that's the line, right? You got to make sure that folks have all the capabilities to do what they need to do. And especially what we started out talking about in the heat. You know, it's going to be a hot summer, folks. Better get ready. If you haven't got the AC in, make sure you do. If you don't have it, you know, and you're a senior, let's, you know, find a way, right? But that's the important aspect to make sure.
Yeah, there's lots of great units out there. You know, all these big box stores are absolutely stocked up with, and I mean the tower units now, you don't even have to go to window AC. You know, the tower units now are incredibly efficient. I mean, if you've got a 700 square foot, you know, senior flat, or you're renting a house or whatever it may be, these things will do it. And there's almost no setup. You know, sometimes they require a little exhaust line, but other than that, they're actually really, really neat. So, I mean, yeah, don't get caught in that scenario just for the sake of. Give us a shout. We'll see what we can do. I mean, I can't tell you how many, you know, how many good things have come back to myself and the company, out of helping people that were older than us. It's always been, I don't know why, but you know, a lot of people get annoyed by seniors. Since I was 18, I've always been, you know, like sort of drawn to these people because that, you know, but I'm a big, you know, wisdom seeker, learner all the time, all different avenues. I don't care what it is, you know, give it to me. I want to know how the hell it works, you know? And, and I've always been drawn to these people. And I was the kind of guy that would go and sit with them just to hear what the heck they did. And my first appointment with many people, many seniors, anybody that was honestly any older than 20 minutes, we ended up never talking about the job because I get into asking about the picture, the this and that. And next thing you know, I got to go back for another damn appointment because we never got to the job yet. Because I just wanted to hear their life story. But, you know, when you get to that age, there's a lot, especially now, because, I mean, the people that are out there and as seniors now, I mean, we won't get these stories ever again. They're never going to exist in our life. Yeah. Right.
Exactly. So folks, word of advice, if Justin comes to your house, keep him focused. You can tell him the story after he looks at the problem. Okay.
Yeah, because if you've baked some peanut butter cookies that your grandmother gave you, we're probably talking about that first.
Yep. Just like you're probably gonna. I'm not. I got so many places I want to go now. I'm not gonna because you've got to get to work. You can enjoy this day with your son actually.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean that's just something I think we want to go into down the road too and talk a bit more about because it's a complex issue all the way around dealing with seniors. Just educating a senior when you go into a house and saying, well, here's the problem. Let's, maybe we need to take the next step, talk with your son or your daughter. You know what I mean? Like to bring in that secondary voice as well. Maybe they can do the work or maybe they don't understand the problems, right? But I think that's the critical point, especially because it can be overwhelming, right? Yep. Like if you go into a senior's place and you see like a dozen different problems, you can't really just say, well, you got this, and this. It ain't, you got to look at the priorities and you've got to have communication, obviously, within their whole family.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Thanks for doing this.
They're like not hard to fix. It's just like you get 7 or 8 of them, and all of a sudden it's like a big job. But I mean, it's something that we can on ProBuilder. I mean, even if we just advise you on like, hey, get to Home Depot, you got to buy this, and this. They're easy fixes. YouTube the rest. Because like I said, I mean, I prefer people to try it themselves first. I mean, 90% of these things, not hard, folks. They're not hard. You just got to get in there and do it.
One other aspect of this, we should touch base on. If you have a parent that's a senior and the house is you're feeling there's problems there,
yep.
Call Justin.
Yep.
He'll go in and look for you.
Yep.
Maybe that takes the onus off of you a little bit. And he can say, well, here's some things you might want to consider. And a lot of, and you do a lot of this too. I know this. Accessibility issues, right? As you age.
Yep.
Like even,
yeah,
just in the shower, just those little things that you need.
It's, we've built them, we've taken them out, but I went in a big stint of accessibility for a long time. I don't know what it was. I just kept getting wheelchair job after wheelchair job. But yeah, I mean, that's another thing too, is that, and I'll touch base on it real quick, but that's there is standards to that stuff, folks. Like, I mean, like there's dimensions and
bylaws,
come into play that are going to be an issue if they're not correct, right? So I mean, there's a very quick story because I don't want to hold you up too long. But there was a concrete job going on two houses down from one of our places, and they were doing accessibility ramp. And honest to God, I thought it was a staircase to start, and what it was a ramp, and it was 45 degrees in pure concrete, and it's never going to work. I mean, you're going to roll it, flip it backwards and stuff like that. And clearly, and again, older folks and these concrete guys, the flat work was amazing, but they didn't know the standard on the ramp. There, and at 45 degrees, you're not even rolling a wheelbarrow up that. So, and they paid all this money, and now the block of concrete is there and it's over, right? I mean, there's nothing that can be done about it now besides a massive jack out.
Wow. Yeah, exactly. I mean, you got to look at those precautionary things to do first to set it up to make sure you meet all the bylaws and it's going to work.
Yeah.
Just no brainer there.
Exactly.
Enjoy your.
Thank you, sir. All right. Bye.